Alrighty guys, welcome back to Star Wars Review. Today I'm reviewing Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi Part 3, which was directed by Deborah Chow and written by Joby Harold and Hannah Friedman, also Hosen Amani and Stuart Beatty, and was released on June 1st, 2022. So yeah, I once again enjoyed this episode. Obviously, it's the first episode with Vader in it, and we actually see Vader and Obi-Wan kind of fight each other, for the first time since the events of Revenge of the Sith, which, I actually quite like the fight scene, even though obviously it's not going to be the big one, because this is only episode 3, and there's still 3 more. The big one will be saved for episode 6, but this one we kind of see, Obi-Wan in, such a shock state, and, obviously the first time he's probably used his lightsaber in a battle, probably really since that fight with Anakin in Revenge of the Sith, and so we see him not at the top of his game, and, Vader just easily, beating him. Vader's only using one hand, and it's a good fight scene. I like the ending when Vader kind of sets a fire and kind of burns Obi-Wan. Obviously, Vader could have easily killed him then and there, but, because of, story reasons, obviously he doesn't, and eventually because of other characters has to leave. Obviously I assume some of it also Obi-Wan didn't want to, or Vader didn't want to kill Obi-Wan because Obi-Wan was obviously losing the battle easily, and I assume Vader kind of wants Obi-Wan to be at the top of his game so he can feel he actually beat Obi-Wan. One thing with the fight, like lightsaber effects, and there's something I thought in The Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett also. The lightsaber effects for the Disney Plus stuff, they're just not as good as the movies, which obviously does make sense, but they just don't have the same coolness feel as they do in definitely the prequel trilogy and the sequel trilogy and the Rogue One and whatnot. The lightsaber effects in those movies are really good. These effects are just kind of, there's just something off about it. But I do say that, all that. But there's one thing I do like was when Obi-Wan and Vader kind of clash in the lightsabers. When they're touching, like there's a much bigger steam effect than normal, which I actually really like that. Kind of adds a little something to the lightsabers. So I do say I kind of didn't enjoy the lightsaber effects as much, but I do like that. The lightsaber effects when they're not, I don't know. It was just odd in this episode. There's something off about them. Like for instance, so far when the Inquisitors have used their lightsabers hasn't really been too off to me, but there's something about this scene and some of the scenes in The Mandalorian also, definitely the final season, or the final episode of the second season when Luke appears. There's something off about the lightsaber effects there too, but yeah. Anyways, with that, all those scenes with Obi-Wan and Vader, even though we know what's going to happen with all these characters, they really were able to sell the tension on all that moment. I felt tense, like, oh my god, what's going to happen? Even though I know what's going to happen, they just, really sold all those moments really well in this episode. So, I do really enjoy that. Obviously, Vader, when he appears at this village, and Obi-Wan is there, kind of seeing him for the first time, the shock on Obi-Wan's face. Once again, Ewan McGregor giving a incredible performance there. And then Vader's, like, just brutally murdering a bunch of these villagers, like snapping their necks, force choking them, like several villagers. It was extremely brutal, more brutal than the scene in Rogue One. So he was obviously doing it to tease Obi-Wan, make Obi-Wan appear just because he needs to save those people. So I enjoyed that, and obviously the fight scene and whatnot. I will also say one thing, fight choreography was just alright. Could add a little bit better there, but it's I'm not really an action guy. I like story more than anything. And, you know, lightsaber battles, they could be terribly choreographed, but the moment, the emotions with those characters and the story, if that's all great, then I'm mostly fine with it. So, you know, with the lightsaber battles, most of them I enjoy more what's happening with these characters, what's going on with them and whatnot, more than, you know, the actual choreography with the fight scene. So, yeah. But, you know, because Vader is back, James Earl Jones is actually back doing the voice, which, I don't know if he actually, I assume he probably recorded lines, but, I'm pretty sure they did some, you know, artificial, stuff like they did for Luke, which it actually sounded kind of good in this one. Obviously helps, Vader's voice has a lot more, you know, already digital aspects to it, so that helps. But, you know, in Rogue One and Rebels, when James Earl Jones returned, you could tell he was old. In this, he sounds like he did in the original trilogy, so, yeah, obviously, you know, happy they're able to have James Earl Jones, back to do the voice, and, you know, make it sound a little bit better than what it was, because, you know, obviously, you know, there's other voice actors who've, voiced Vader and do it really well in the video games and whatnot, but, you know, James Earl Jones, there's this, you know, something about James Earl Jones and his Vader voice, which just, you know, incredible. Obviously, you know, Vader is one of the most iconic movie villains ever, and James Earl Jones is some of the reason why he is. So, you know, happy that he was, also, I guess maybe kind of back. Obviously, I'd have to wait for some behind-the-scenes stuff to learn exactly what was going on with that, but happy he was back doing the voice. But, you know, I already talked about the brutalness of that Vader scene. There's a lot of surprisingly brutal moments. Obviously, definitely that moment was extremely brutal. There's a moment when a stormtrooper gets sliced in half, because Obi-Wan shoots the stormtrooper what's on this tower thingy to fall down on this, like, laser blockade thingy, and they get completely sliced in half, and they show it all. I was just really surprised at how brutal the episode was. But, you know, obviously I really enjoyed that ending with, you know, Obi-Wan and Vader, but everything before that I still quite enjoyed. There's a lot of great moments with Obi-Wan and Leia. You know, there's a moment when they're still on the ship at the very start of the you know, episode when Leia asks Obi-Wan what the Force feels like, and he, you know, describes it as, like, when you're in a dark room and you switch on the lights. That's what he described it as. And, you know, we kind of see that get visualized in the fight scene with Vader when Obi-Wan turns his lightsaber on for the first time. He's in pitch black, turns the lightsaber on, and then we kind of see him maybe get a little more confident in himself during that fight. Which, you know, that lightsaber, him igniting again, was cool. And I like that they didn't make it a huge deal. He had to turn it on, and they didn't, like, do like a cool scene of him igniting it. He just ignites it, and then they're done. You know, I liked how it was kind of, you know, more just, it just happens, and they don't make a huge deal about it. So yeah. Also, Obi-Wan, we hear him kind of try to reach out to Qui-Gon again. So this is the third time it's happened in each episode so far. So I'm very confident now that we will see Liam Neeson back as Qui-Gon in Force Ghost form. So I'm extremely excited to see Liam Neeson back as Qui-Gon. He's one of my favorite characters. So yeah, but we see the cargo ship land on this planet called Mapuzo, and you know, Leia and Obi-Wan are heading to this meeting point, which Haja gave them. Along the way, we see Obi-Wan have like a vision of Anakin. We see Hayden back in the Jedi robes. It's from far away, so we don't get a good look at him, but cool seeing that again. And I really like that moment. Just Obi-Wan and they are kind of walking, talking, and Obi-Wan just freezes, and it cuts to, you know, Anakin in the Jedi robes, and I think he turns around and you see him, and it was a great moment. I really like that. But they eventually get to the meeting point, and there's no one there, so Obi-Wan is kind of upset, you know, thinking he can't trust anyone, which Leia, on the other hand, thinks she can trust anyone, so she kind of goes to the road where this, little transport speeder is coming, and, gets the attention of the driver, this alien named Freck, who I think was voiced by Zach Braff. So that was interesting. I saw his name in the credits. I'm like, what? He appeared in this? And I'm pretty sure he's voicing this alien named Freck, which has sort of become a little thing. Happens a lot in The Mandalorian, where there's just like some random alien who's been voiced by some like bigger name, I don't know if I'd call Zach Braff a huge name, but a more well-known, actor voicing a random alien. So that was neat. But he gives them a ride. Obi-Wan and Leia give him different names, obviously, and then they pick up some stormtroopers. And while talking to the stormtroopers, Obi-Wan accidentally, refers to Leia by her actual name, and like the stormtroopers are like, what did you just call her? Which Obi-Wan's able to brush it off by saying, Leia was his wife's name and that she passed, and they're here to, see where him and his pretend wife met. So, kind of is able to brush it off. That moment was really tense. I really like that. But the stormtroopers eventually get dropped off, and then Leia talks to Obi-Wan, and Leia kind of has figured out that Obi-Wan knew her real mother, and, she asks him about, who her real father is, and if Obi-Wan is her real father, which, he says obviously he isn't, and, kind of see a little sad reaction with Obi-Wan, knowing who her father is and what, her father became. But then, Obi-Wan talks about, his family he never knew, and you see him talk about remembering his mother and father, and remembering, that he might have had a brother also, so that was neat there. But, they get to that laser blockade, and that's when, they have to shoot those stormtroopers, and that one falls and gets sliced in half. Obi-Wan knocks out Freck, so Freck survives. But then, they think they're in the clear, but then some more stormtroopers come in, and that's when Indra Varma's character, her name's Talia Durth, but she's in this full Imperial officer outfit, so you think she's Imperial, but she takes out the stormtroopers and reveals Obi-Wan and Leia that she was the person they were supposed to meet, and they obviously weren't there, and so she had to find them. So she then takes them to this hideout in this village, which they go into this secret back room, which I guess has been used for several Jedi in the past, and there's a lot of Arbesh names scratched into the wall, which I might go through them all and make a video on it, I don't know. But one gets directly mentioned by Obi-Wan, which is Quinlan Vos, who's a Jedi character who's first seen in the background of The Phantom Menace on Tatooine when Qui-Gon and whatnot were there. In that moment, he wasn't supposed to be Quinlan Vos, a Jedi, but, eventually through, Legends and the rest of the prequels in the Clone Wars, they fleshed him out that he was a Jedi, and, obviously he's most prominently featured in, a few episodes of the Clone Wars, and like I said, several Legends comics, also the canon novel, Dark Disciple, which was, supposed to be an 8-episode arc of the Clone Wars, but because Clone Wars got canceled, it was adapted into a novel. But he was confirmed to survive Order 66 in canon in the 2017 Darth Vader comic series. So that's cool to get another mention of him, and how he was a part of this, underground railroad like thing for Jedi, which I hope gets explored more, either in this series or future Star Wars stories, or maybe even both. But then this is when Vader comes in, and we see Obi-Wan in such a shocked state. Once again, Ewan McGregor giving an incredible performance there, and that's when he tries to lure Vader away from Leia, and so he runs out while Leia and Talia go into this tunnel. But they get far enough, and Leia's like, says she'll be fine, so Talia, goes to help Obi-Wan, which is Talia is the reason why Vader kind of lets go of Obi-Wan in that fight scene, because she kind of is there on the cliff and like starts shooting some of the stormtroopers. So yeah, but the other Inquisitors are there, Reva and the fifth brother, and at least the fourth sister is the other one. And we see Reva find that hidden back room, and then the episode ends with her capturing Leia. But the Inquisitors, I also liked them in this episode. We see this power vacuum what's been created with the supposed death of the Grand Inquisitor. It's not mentioned that he actually died, but because there's a scene with Reva talking to Vader. She's a hologram, and Vader's on Mustafar. We see the castle and everything, and Vader is telling her, Reva is saying Grand Inquisitor's, gonna say death, but it gets cut off, and then Vader, tells her that, if she finds Obi-Wan or something like that, she might become the next Grand Inquisitor, which throughout the episode we see her and the fifth brother kind of clashing heads, wanting to be the ones to find Obi-Wan. So yeah, I've really liked Reva throughout these episodes so far. Which it's once again sad that Moses Ingram, the actress, has to deal with racist comments she's been getting on social media. Which like I said, I've enjoyed her character, so obviously I don't think she's the best character in the show, but I've liked her, and I like her as the secondary villain in this series. Obviously Vader kind of being the more main villain of the series, but I've enjoyed her. I've thought her motives have been clear to me. She knows who Vader is, that he's Anakin, and she knows the connection to Obi-Wan, and so she wants to be the one to find Obi-Wan, so Vader will pick her as maybe his apprentice. Obviously he says as the next Grand Inquisitor in this episode. So I found her motives to be pretty clear to me. So yeah, I've liked her in the show so far. But yeah. Anyways, that's gonna be it for this review. Once again, I really enjoyed the episode. There was a droid, NED-B, I think his name, who's with Talia, which I really liked him in the episode too. He doesn't speak or anything, so yeah, and he had a hammer and whatnot. He'll probably be in the next few episodes, but yeah. Once again, enjoyed this episode. Been enjoying the series a lot. I'm very surprised how much I've been enjoying it, because honestly, I wasn't excited for this series. Like a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when kind of was in the making, I honestly would have said it was the series I kind of wasn't as looking forward to as much, other than that seeing Ewan back as Obi-Wan, but I've actually enjoyed it, so yeah. Anyways, my grade for this episode, I'm gonna give it an A-, so yeah. But anyways, that's gonna be it for this one. I'll be returning hopefully I'll do it on Wednesday for episode 4. I know this one's a little late, but yeah, I also do want to make 2 other videos. Hopefully I'll get them out before that one of all those Arbesh names, and also one just talking about the Grand Inquisitor and whatnot. So yeah, hopefully I'll get those out soon, before the next one, but episode comes out. But yeah. Anyways, that's gonna be it for this one. I've been Starsview, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.